Okay, today we're going to continue with our quest through Hilchos Purim, Siman Tov Reish Pei Zayin in the Shulchan Aruch over here. Sif Al. Chayev Adam Likra Isas Megilah Balayla. Person is obligated to learn the Megillah at night, read the Megillah at night, hear it at night. V'lachshav l'shnois b'yom, as we learned yesterday, to then repeat it again, lean it, hear the leaning during the day. V'shalayla Zmana. What is the time to learn the Megillah at night? When is this? The answer is Kol Halayla, the entire night, Shulchan Aruch specifies. Now, what does that mean, the entire night? We're going to have to see exactly what that means. All right? Now, Vishal Yom Zman Kol Hayom. The time to hear the Megillah during the day is the entire day. All right, now we're specifying what this means. From sunrise until the end of the day, whatever the end of the day means. Okay. We're going to come back to this more exactly what that means from sunrise. Is that preferably you do it earlier if you need to? Here it is. Now, if you're going to lean it from dawn, which is before sunrise, then you would be yaitse. You would fulfill your obligation.
Sounds like it's the end.
That's correct. So we just look at the Zmanim calendar so we could specify exactly what we're dealing with. We have Purim right over here. This day is Purim. It's going to be on Friday, right? So dawn is right over here. Sunrise is right over there. So we're talking about a difference between around 5:50 in the morning and 7:10 in the morning. That is a very large difference. Difference of an hour and 20 minutes, in fact. So we're saying preferably what? Preferably you do it from sunrise. After sunrise.
So 6:21 is Nate.
Now the truth is over here. No. 7:10
is Nate. So 6.
Now the truth is over here is that you shouldn't be davening Shachar Shmona Esrei before 7:10 in the morning, preferably anyways, if you have the option. Right. So when we're talking about davening at a minyan Eitzachama, sunrise, we're discussing over here that you're going to get to Shmona Esrei at 7:10 and the Megillah is going to follow the davening in the morning. So why is someone davening earlier on Purim is another question. But there's gonna be a lot of asikim in Yonah. There's a big idea, a big concept of davening, asikin on Purim. So, anyways, so this is the idea. These are the times that we're talking about. Now the question is, what about the nighttime? Right. So we're saying that the nighttime. We're saying that the nighttime over here is kol halayla. All right. What does kol halayla mean? From what time until what time? It's not specified here. We're going to learn about it more, obviously, but what is the definition of night? Does night start from Plaga Mincha? We already learned yesterday. We saw in the Beis Yosef. He said that for the Orchos Chaim, I think it was, for people who are pregnant and are fasting the whole fast, but they can't wait then after the fast for the entire laning to eat. So what they do is that they can lean earlier, before Plaga Mincha. By the way, you see how serious it is, not eating before laying in the Megillah, to the extent that even when the fast is done, you just quickly pop something in and eat something. But over here, at least from this halacha, it's seems like it was even preferable, according to some, to laying the Megillah earlier in the day before it's really even officially night, which is an interesting point. But anyways, so then you see that what? That it's until sunset. It's until, okay, so Shkia. So this is going to be sunset, right? So we're talking about over here that what? That Shkia is much later than the Plaga Mincha. 5:45 to around 7 o'clock we're talking. So 7:01. No, we're talking about the night before. So 7 o'clock, right? Around 7 o'clock. Is that night, or are we saying that no, that you should wait for Seisel Chuchavim until 7:41? So there's a big difference. We're talking about a difference of close to 2 hours. We're going from 5:45 to after 7:41. Something to think about. Also, the question is Ma'ariv. Preferably you daven Ma'ariv after Seitzah Chochavim. It's another thing to talk about. Anyways, and then that's even before going into the Rabbeinu Tam world.
Hmm.
I mean, look at the difference in this man there, 5:45 p.m. to
40 minutes.
8:20. What?
Oh, you're talking about from
From Plag to Rabbeinu Tam. It's
wow.
like two different worlds.
Yeah.
There's people who wait till Rabbeinu Tam to for Megillah. What happened?
No,
Oh,
probably
for
not.
Marv.
Probably
For
not.
Marv.
For Marv,
Yeah.
but if you're gonna do Marv before Megillah, I don't
Marv
know anyone
for
that does
Megillah.
this.
Does what?
Waits to lane Megillah until after Marv, but they're going on a Rabbeinu Tam Marv.
I don't think anyone holds like that, but
All right.
Yeah, for Purim.
After the fast?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
yeah. I don't know.
I'll look around my neighborhood for Zmanim, but I think most people daven. I think early, earlier.
Yeah, so I would imagine. All right, so those are the times we're gonna see the exact times.
Some schools daven a little before it stays, right?
Yeah, exactly. The fast is tough. All right, let's the Magen of Ram has a question over here. Afagav the Kriya Shmar Chatzois Dafka brought down first mission in Shas in Brachos. If the three of Machlokes, when the last time you could say Shema is. According to Rebbe Eliezer, at Sofa Shmur Rishona, Chamar Ad Chatzois, Rebbe Gamil Amor Ad Shel Amud HaShachar, right? So according to the Chachamim, you could only say Shema until Chatzos. So why is this our idea that by Shema, at least preferably until midnight? Halach l'maisa, we hold you could say Shema until the morning. What's the difference over there that we say you should try to do it before Chatzos, halachic midnight, as opposed to here? Answers the Magen of Amafta Agav the Kriya Shema Chatzos Dafka Hachalo Gazvinin Domati Lemivshe Aidi the Chaviv Lahu. Wow, so he's quoting maybe the Rosh or Mizrahi over here. He's saying that no, over here we didn't make such a decree that you might come to be negligent since the laning of the Megillah is very dear to you. It's loved, special. According to what I wrote in the previous oath, which we just skipped, since the laning of the Megillah during the day is the main laning, so therefore you don't need to worry. It's not as important, so to say, at night.
What happened here?
What happened over here is you have a very interesting yesod, and the Darshanim discuss this a lot. Those who are involved with the Yonei Drush, with matters of Drush. What do they say over here? Say like this: the laning of the Megillah, it's twice a year. It's very special. It's dear to you. We're not concerned that if you're gonna wait until after midnight, so then you're gonna forget completely, and you're gonna no.
Mm.
We're assuming even after halachic midnight, you remember to hear the laning. That's what this is saying. That's why they never said chatzos over here, or another idea because the laning at isn't as important. Main mitzvahs during the day, it's not as important. Um,
Well, a tangent question. Wait, if you know the minion for Marv is not going to be before Hatzos, there's anyone who says you should say Kriya Shema b'Yechidus, if you just say Kriya Shema, then you would daven the rest of Marv with the minion?
what?
You'd say Kriya Shema before the minion if the minion's gonna be after Hatzos.
Nope, you would not.
By Mariv?
No, you would
Yeah,
not.
by Marv, yeah.
No, you would not.
But why not? Oh,
Why
whatever.
not?
Okay.
When we learn
Yeah.
Siman Reish Lamed Hey, then you'll know.
All right, fine.
Yeah,
Reish Lamed Pei.
you ask a tangent question, I'll give you a tangent answer. But if you're asking for 108 details, ain't gonna happen.
I mean, there's no one that passes that you should say before.
I don't think so offhand, but like I said, when we learn that Siman, you can get your
Fine.
108 answers.
Fine.
You're right there. Yeah. All right. What are we talking about over here? We're talking about a Magen of Ram. We're talking about a Magen of Ram. What does it say over here? There's an interesting bear hativ the bear hativ over here comes along and he says like, oh no, that's going on the gear business. All right, we're gonna come back to that. All right, let's come back to all that. Let's go to Sid Beis for a minute. All right. Mevatlin Talmud Torah l'shmoyer mikra Megillah. We stop learning Torah in order to hear the laning of the Megillah. Mevatlin, it's a bittul. It's a qualitative bittul Torah. Qualitatively, you're going down and you're learning. You're learning in depth something, and now you're just reading psukim. Shmuel Mikra Megillah, the Magen Avraham specifies, quoting the base Yosef, the Bachler we already learned, but Tzibor, you're coming to hear the laning in the congregation. This is certainly applies to the mitzvah, so you should stop in order to hear laning in the Megillah. Megillah, they'll get pushed off from laning Megillah, except for if you need to bury someone and no one else is burying that individual. They
Or
saw according to
Kiddush
the
Levana.
that he needs. Kiddush Levana, not necessarily, not simple at all. Shapokea bo, depends on the exact case, Kiddush Levana. Shapokea bo, koivro techil v'achkachar. You involve with the kavura first, which could take a lot of time with the burial. Then afterwards, you hear the laning. Oh, this is only talking about if you're able to do both of them. So this brought in the Ramah, this idea that we learned yesterday. If you're able to do both, just the question is which one takes preference? Which one has the kadima? Aval im shar, but if it's impossible, laser shtayim to do both of them. Ain't you mitzvah daraisa nitva may make Megillah. There's no mitzvah daraisa that gets pushed off because of laying the Megillah.
Hmm.
Oh, v'hadid meis mitzvah kaidim, and that which meis mitzvah comes first. And when it comes to burying someone, no one else is taking care of. That's only if it's possible to do the laning afterwards of the Megillah.
When we talk about Mace Mitzvah, we say that that's the whole. That's you'd have to stand by the mace, and you'd have to bring the mace and wait till the mace goes to the cemetery. What would you have to do?
Take the body, bury it.
You yourself would have you'd have to
That's
what?
right. If no one else could do it, that's exactly right.
Carry the mace to the cemetery.
That's right. It's a mitzvah.
I know.
Nowadays, we have Chever Kadisha. There are people that are designated for this, but small towns could very well be applicable. You got to be involved with it. Or nowadays, I think legally also, you hand it off to the people who are involved with taking care of it, you know? So probably what this would be nowadays is you call the police, they'll get over. They'll figure it out. Once they take care of it, they don't need you anymore. They're done asking you questions. What happened? How'd you find this? Did you see this? Did you see that? No. I just walking. I saw a dead body on the street. Once you're done with all the questions, then you could leave. Probably what it would be practically nowadays. So now you know what to do if you ever see a dead body on the street and no one's taking care of it.
Well, you can't. You wouldn't hand the body over. If it's police, you do have to wait till it's. Yeah, you probably wouldn't hand the. You wouldn't. I don't think you hand that. You let the police take care of it as opposed to actually making sure that it's a proper burial. Like you don't know what they would.
Probably nowadays, if it's
Yeah.
Jewish, I would call Hatzalah first.
Yeah.
Dead body.
Yeah, for dead body, yeah, boy.
No?
Yeah. See if they know. Who would you call?
Never could be.
Chever Kadisha. I don't have the number. They'll transfer it. I don't have
Mhm.
the Chever Kadisha number. Yeah.
But you couldn't hand the body over to a guy, right?
Have solos for a lot of people. Okay, so you Google Chever Kadisha. Do they have a phone number?
Yeah.
You have to know where you are. If you're in Oregon, there ain't no Chever Kadisha there.
Go to White Shoulder Kitchen.
Yeah.
So if you're in a Goyish area, you'd have to really wait till it's it's the Kavura.
Oh, here, Chever Kadisha. Chever Kadisha number. Let's see. Chever Kadisha phone number. Oh, here. Kadisha Vad Rabbanim Queens. Oh no, that's something else. Hey, Chever Kadisha right over here. Contact information. Call them up. Take care of it. You know? Go upon
Yep.
him. Let's get a little light in the sugya over here. So, okay, so that's regarding the times of when there's an obligation to hear the laning over here. All right. Now we're going to discuss a very difficult idea to learn about because it's very tricky wording in the Magen Avraham, incredibly tricky. We're going to learn it, not understand it properly, probably. Learn the Machzir Shekel, come back to it, and then not understand it properly, but on a better level. Trying to understand what he's doing over here. But I think the point will come out and will make sense. Magen Avraham over here quotes the Hagois Min Hagim. Talks about a very interesting shaila. Gershon is Gayer Koidem Anetzachama. Right? Let's say you have someone who's coming to convert to Judaism on Purim, and it's before what? Sunrise. So the question is he obligated to hear the Megilah laning at night? Right? Question is, when is he coming to convert? What time? So let's say he's coming to convert in this exact time period. By the way, it's questionable what type of Beis Din is doing conversions at this time of the day. We're talking a time of between 5:50 in the morning and 7:11. See that? What Beis Din is doing conversions at 6 in the morning? All right, but anyways,
That's a great question.
so the guy's coming to convert then, yeah. What type of Beis Din is doing conversions on Purim? Fine. Anyways, goes with my statement. It's not lamaisa till it's a maisa. It doesn't apply till it applies.
There's a good one who wants to all of a sudden
All of a sudden, he
pay the
wants
top
to pay
dollar.
that. He's paying top dollar, and money talks, and he's giving a couple 100,000. Oh, just a couple hundred, yeah, we'll do it on Purim for you. It's 6 o'clock in the morning if that's exactly when you want to convert. Good. Don't know when it happened,
So
but
saying it's Lefnei Tzachama, but it's after,
let's say,
but it's after dawn.
yeah, let's say.
That's what
So
we're saying. Okay.
the question is over here. I'm gonna share some of my knowledge from Siman Nun Ches. If you're interested, you could reference those recordings from rabbiblind.com. And then under the Mishnah Berurah section, as well as the Gemara and Brachos, on the bottom of Chesem and Beis, the top of Tesem and Alf. See the recordings on Brachos over there for more details. We have the whole Masechta, blind.com and the Gemara. So what does it say over there? It's a very interesting halacha that it says over there. I feel like not so many people are really studying the halachas and learning them of Shema so carefully and in depth, but talks about over there that saying Shema at night after dawn, after Amar Shachar. Right, so I bet you most Orthodox Jews will tell you, what do you mean? It says in the Mishnah, in the first parak in Shas, Ad Shel Amud Shachar, you're not allowed to until after dawn. Right, B'Shachar Kumecha. That's when people stop sleeping, so to say, 5:50 in the morning, right? That's when everyone's getting up to learn. Everyone's already up in the base medrash learning by then, halavai, right? So what happens over here? So what happens is like this. There's a Gemara that says, brings a story. Mikitzer, it's clear from the Gemara that in a pressing situation, you could say Shema after dawn.
Right.
All right? Now, as long as it's before sunrise. Now, let me make you think a little bit more. David, you still following?
Yes, I'm still here. Yep. So
All right.
going at you can say Krishma after dawn, yeah?
Yeah, at night. Yeah, pressing situation. Extenuating.
After dusk, you mean after dusk, you mean after dusk.
No, after dawn, I mean.
What do you mean?
Shema at night, you could say after dawn if you would
Oh,
extenuating circumstances, okay?
okay.
Okay. You see the highlighted thing on the screen over here?
Yeah.
All right, great. I'm
Yeah.
gonna zoom
So
it in to make it easier for you because I know you're on your phone here. Now watch this. All right. This highlighted time over here, where it says earliest talus, this is the earliest time you could say Shema in the morning. And this is the lichatchila, the preferable time to say Shema in the morning. All right. That time, 6:22. This is on Purim day. All right. Now, we don't do it this early because we do it in a way that we go right into Shemona Esrei. We start Shemona Esrei at 7:12. That's called Vasikin. That's called Davening Vasikin. Yeah? Now watch this. Someone who had this extenuating circumstance, is he allowed to say Shema? David, you still following?
I'm still here. Yep.
All right. Is he allowed to say Shema after the time of dawn, before sunrise for night, while simultaneously davening at a Vasikin minyan and saying Shema in the morning before sunrise?
Again,
I'm going to say that again. That's why I wanted to be careful. I'm trying to say it slowly because it's so familiar. I think about it.
Lahavdil, killing two birds with one stone, you mean?
Exactly, exactly. The guy's
But
trying to get the Zman of Shema in Mariv and in Shachris in at the same exact time. He's trying to say Shema for Mariv after dawn, before sunrise, but he's davening Vasikin, so he's saying Shema before sunrise for in the morning. Not allowed. So, Tartu Desatre, right? Contradiction. It's brought down in those places that I just quoted. So, Siman Nun Ches, towards the end of the Siman. So, the question is like this. Right? We see for Shema, you're allowed to say Shema at night in extenuating circumstance. Right? You're allowed to say Shema at night after dawn, if it's before sunrise. And this type of Shema that's being done before 7:12, it's not tashlumin. It's not considered, excuse me, this Megillah that you're hearing, it's not pshat you're making up a Megillah at night, which the question is there even such a concept that you could make up a Megillah, right? If you miss Shemona Esrei accidentally, you could make it up in the next time. So it's not even a makeup over here, what we're saying. There's nothing to do with the makeup. This is Me'ikr Hadin. It counts as a full-fledged laning of the Megillah. So now the question arises, which is
for your night.
what?
We're talking about
The Megillah laning at night. Yeah, the question arises. Yeah. Yeah, so we're talking about at night. So the question is like this. Why wouldn't he be able to lane the Megillah after dawn? And it could count for
day also.
No, not day, because day he's lechachilu doing after sunrise anyway,
Right,
so it's
okay,
not a
fine.
tartu desatra
Now
challenge. You're not
okay.
doing both in the same time. So what would be the shiloh over here? Why would it not be permissible if by Shema, which is daraisa, and still we hold in a pressing situation, Shema's from the Torah, when we say in a pressing situation, you could do Shema at night, even after dawn, as long as it's before sunrise. So then for sure, the laning of the Megillah, which is only rabbinic.
There's no shachar by Megillah.
Oh, so by Shema, maybe you could say the pasuk says b'shach b'cha uvkumecha, means the time to say Shema is a time when people are sleeping, and since people are still sleeping, so therefore you could do it later. Fine, very good. So then why stop at 7:12? And this is late in the year for sunrise to be 7:12. Doesn't get much later. People are still sleeping up to 7:12. Fine, most people aren't sleeping after. You could say most adults, right? But right, so that's already a good answer. So that's what this Shaila, this question is going to be addressing in the Magen Avraham. One other point is that if it's after sunrise, even if you had the most extenuating circumstance ever and you didn't say Shema of night yet, you can't make it up. You lost it. It's considered something that is crooked that cannot be straightened anymore. You lost it. All right, let's keep these manim open in case we need. David, you follow?
Yep.
Okay, good stuff. So that was all like outside. They call that conceptual, not textual. That's what they call it in English. So the Hagois Minhagim, quoted by the Magen Avraham, says, Gershon is Gayer Kodem Neitzachama, Potter Mekriyas Halayla, the Iker Mitzvah Sabiyam. So if he converted before sunrise, he is exempt from the laning at night because the main mitzvah is during the day. Why is he exempt at night? Why is he exempt?
Like when there's
So based on what we just said, it makes a little bit of sense. Before sunrise. Also the question, one other shaila that now that I'm thinking of, I'll just ask the shaila before someone else asks me, and then I have to answer. I'm not 100% sure, but when we say that the time to lay Megillah is this time, right? It's the entire night until, right? It's the entire night, right? Or there's the earliest time you could do it, and it goes until the end of the day. Does that mean you have to finish it by the end of this month, or just make sure that you start it before? Right.
As with anything, right? If you have to
Yes,
finish,
that is with anything. Yes, usually that's usually the Mishnah Berurah says you need to finish it. The Aruch Shulchan and others are lenient, say that you need to start it. Okay. Nearly says the Magen Avraham. It appears to me, based on this ruling of the Sefer Minhagim, the Halchi Perusha. This is the explanation of what he said. Aval pish linyan kriya shma mikri layla v'chayiv. Even though regarding Shema, at night it would still be considered what? Night, and you would be obligated to recite Shema as long as it's before sunrise. As we learned over there in Simin Nun Ches. Mikol Malcolm, Pater Megillah. Nevertheless, you're exempt from hearing from laying the Megillah over here. Hoyo the Iker mitzvah sabiyom. Since the main mitzvah is during the day, this is a new logic.
Yeah, what's that logic?
The logic is the Megillah, the day Megillah is more important than the night Megillah. If you could only go to one,
But we're not saying you can only go to one.
I know.
So what's the reasoning?
Yeah, you're saying don't worry about the night; it's not so important.
But
I said this Magen Avraham, we're not going to understand it the first time. After the Machas Shekel, we're also not going to understand it, but we're not going to understand it not as badly. Yeah, I said this. This is a wild Magen Avraham. This is the opening Magen Avraham of it really essentially Hilchos Purim. There's only one short simon before this has to do with the fast. This is the first simon on Megillah. But fasting Magen Avraham, and it's so amazing that people who are just learning the Mishnah Berurah never even learned this. I don't know. We're going to see if it's brought in the Mishnah Berurah. In short, I mean, with all these details, it's certainly not, from what I remember. It's implied that if you didn't do it at night,
he's specifically saying that night ends at.
What's he saying over here? When the Magen Avraham says,
Laila ends at dawn.
Yeah, correct. But what's he talking about? Shalot Kara. He's talking about Kriya Shema, no?
I don't think he's talking about Megillah.
He's talking about Megillah?
I think so, because that's our topic.
All right, so it's implied that what? If you didn't lean it at night, you lean it during the day. So this line over here, you lean it as long as it's before sunrise, right?
The Evid, it sounds like that's you can do that.
So it's implied from what? It's implied from what that he's saying this? This is why it's very tricky. Because the Sefer Minhagim clearly says if he converts before sunrise, he's exempt. He doesn't need to.
Right.
Saying this is his explanation. Shema, you would need to. This is the explanation of the Sefer Minhagim. Shema, you would need to. Megillah, you don't. Why? Since the main mitzvah is during the day. So now, what's he talking about when he says, if you didn't lean it at night, lean it before sunrise? He's talking about the night leaning? Is he arguing? It's implied from what? It's implied that since you didn't lean it at night, lean it before sunrise. It's implied from what? Is he arguing on the Sefer Minhagim? He's referring to the night leaning, probably, not the day leaning. Right? You see why I said this is a difficult Magen Avraham to understand. It's applied from what? Sit on this. Ask yourself this question. Think about it.
Is the Yod V'Hadar out on this yet?
No. We need a little art scroll. Oh, Magen Avraham. Velinira, the Eino Koida Acher Shalom Rashacher. It appears to me, though. It appears to me this is the second nearly. First that he said nearly, someone wanted to say, yeah, he's explaining the Sefer Minhagim. That's what he means, right? Now he's saying his own idea that you wouldn't do it after dawn. You wouldn't lane it after dawn. Bishleima, it seems like he's learning the Sefer Minhagim, right? That he himself holds that you would lane it before sunrise. Right? But he himself is saying, no, you wouldn't do it after dawn, laning of a night. Bishlei makriyat shema, tali bizman shkiva, like you just said. It's good, it's understandable shema, which is dependent upon the time of when people sleep. And there's some slackers that are still sleeping at that time. There's some people that are sleeping at that time but before sunrise. But here it's dependent upon is it night or not. And since dawn already came, it's called days. The Gemara Megilah Daf Chav says. Magen clearly is ruling that after dawn you don't need to say it. So let's take a look at the Machasisa Shekel. Let's take a look at the we got to see everything. Let's just do the Machasisa Shekel. We got to do this. We got 7 minutes to do it. Let's do it. If we're gonna say that the convert should lay in the Megillah before sunrise, we're saying that it's considered night. But in your day in Siman Reish Amaches Gimel, there's a machlokes aposkim. If someone converts at night, does that help at all? Is it a legitimate conversion if someone converts at night? You ever think about that? Converting at night, is it good or not? It's explicit, brought down in Shulchan Aruch. According to the opinion that says if someone converts at night, he's not considered a convert, so the conversion wouldn't work at night. Yeah?
Yeah.
Now we have a double contradiction over here. If we're going to say that the conversion is a legitimate conversion at night, and therefore he would in fact be obligated to hear the Megillah. By the way, there's another factor that we never even thought about when we learned this Magen Avraham. Is the conversion at night a good conversion or not? Because if it's not a good conversion, then how could he hear the Megillah? He's not even a Jew yet. So if we're going to assume the other way that it's a good conversion, okay, no problem. When dawn comes in, we have to say now it's day because he converted at night. How could he fulfill his obligation of the laning at night when he wasn't a Jew yet? The gam lo nischayev baklal, and he wasn't obligated in the laning at all. If we're gonna say even so, it's fitting you should hear the Megillah from night. We're gonna go according to those who hold that if he converts at night, it's legitimate conversion. And we're gonna say no. Before sunrise is considered night. On this, he writes, nevertheless, he's going to be exempt. Since the main mitzvah is during the day. What does that mean? Sfirulei is going to hold. Someone who converts at night is not considered a convert. Given the Iker Megillah B'yoim, okay, so if we're going to say it like this, so now we're saying that no, he's exempt. Why? Since the main mitzvah is during the day. What does that mean? That means we're going to say that the conversion at night is not a good conversion. And since the main laning of the Megillah is in the day, forget about the laning of at night. Because we're holding it's not a good conversion and the main is the day. Even according to the opinion who says that it is a good conversion. Mashma, the after shalokar b'layla, it's implied that after, if he didn't lay in the Megillah at night, yeshlo tashlumin koydem b'neitzachama. Oh, he can make it up before sunrise. Even though dawn came. Oh, so he's saying a tashlumin, it wouldn't be considered a laning in the Zman, in the time of the laning. It's considered a makeup laning. So now we go back to the Magen Avraham. Someone who converted, someone who converted before sunrise is exempt from the laning of at night, since the main mitzvah is during the day, says the Magen Avraham, no. Even though Shema, you would do it over here, you're exempt. Why? Since the main mitzvah is during the day. But it's implied from the Sefer Menhagim, it's implied that if you didn't do the laning from at night, do it before sunrise. Do it not as a laning for at night. It wouldn't count as a laning for night. Do it as a makeup laning.
The nighttime.
For the nighttime. That's what the Malchus Shekel is saying. Pshat in the Magen Avram is. It's a together tashlumin. It's a makeup laning.
Right. So he's saying mashma forever. Not just we're not talking about a ger at this point. We're talking about forever.
Correct. Then he says, near Lear, no. No, don't do it after dawn. Fish shma. Okay, shma, maybe you could fulfill your obligation, mikra din then. So how do you learn the rest of this Magen Avram?
Which part?
This.
Abal hacha.
Yeah.
Here by Megilah.
Yeah, since dawn comes, then no. Take it back. You have to learn like this. Maybe it's implied from the Sefer Minhagim. You would lane it as an actual laning. Says the Magen Avram, no, it wouldn't be an actual laning. Over here, it's dependent upon Laila. It's called Yom. And therefore, you would do it as a makeup laning. Something like that. Read something like that. Something like that.
No, I think at the end he's saying he's following through with his point.
He's following through with this point?
Following through with his point that, listen, according...
It's Mikra Yom, and therefore what?
And therefore...
No, but he said over here, don't do it after dawn. Don't do it after dawn.
That
as an actual laning. Do it as a tashlumin laning, as a makeup. Yeah.
Right, because you can't be yotze anymore. You're done.
Right, so you do it as a makeup laning.
No, you don't do it at all.
Don't do it at all.
He
said right over here.
Where?
Right over here.
That's going to the Sefer Minhagim.
It's going to the Sefer Minhagim. Why do you do it then before sunrise? But he said over here, before Nitza, he said you're exempt.
That's by a game.
Yeah.
But everybody else.
Oh, by everyone else.
By Mashma, right? That's what.
By everyone else. I didn't think about that. So it's implied that for everyone else, you could do it before dawn. You could do it before sunrise as a makeup. As a tashlumin, as a makeup laning. According to the tashlumin. As a makeup. But the Magen Avram argues on that.
Right. He says, no way, you can't be mashma from that. You can't learn that out.
You can't do it after dawn.
He's arguing on the what's mashma for the.
So does he hold you can do it as a tashlumin?
No, it sounds like not.
Can't even do tashlumin.
Sounds like you're done.
This is a very tricky Magen Avram. No, very tricky. Very tricky. All right, this requires more research over here.
Okay.
Here, the Prima Godim says, we got to quickly do these when we do them. Prima Godim says, according to the Minhagim, a ger, since during the main obligation at night he was exempt, so then also during the before sunrise, he would be exempt as well.
Is this connected to the bar mitzvah boy who comes
maybe
bar mitzvah during Sphira?
Maybe a little bit. In the Mishbis of Zahav, he says, according to Rashi, the person was accidental and veloy kara the yikra and nitzachama. You do it until sunrise. According to Rashi, maybe you do it because it's still remembering the miracle. People were yelling out. They're sleeping at dawn and whatever.
That's very funny. I'm just thinking about how roughly 1 in 6 people has a birthday. Actually, 1 in 6 boys have a birthday during Sphira.
Okay. The Ishul of Ram at the end of this says it doesn't just apply to a ger, someone converting. This applies to an onain. Also, someone who was exempt at night because he had to bury one of his 7 relatives, right? Mother, brother, son, daughter, father, mother, or spouse. If they, for some reason, that's what I'm saying. When does this ever happen? It's more theoretical, but it would be the same halacha as a ger. Interesting case. The Ber Hativ says someone who has a slight extenuating circumstance, you could hear the day one after dawn. Fine, so that's already obvious. And then the Shari Shuva quotes the Noda B'Yehuda, who says that the laning of the night is inferior. It's rabbinic. It's midrabanan, but the laning during the day is midivrei Kabbalah. Comes from Nach. The Birchei Yosef says im shachach onen as if a person forgot or an extenuating circumstance at night. It's enough if he lanes it during the day, and he would not need to repeat it another time and do a tashlumin at night. So if he forgot or had an extenuating circumstance, he could just lane the day, and he would not need to make a tashlumin, a makeup laning. So that makes things even more confusing that he's not doing the tashlumin. Just on the machzis shekel, he would.
So we say the best way to do Mikra Megillah is to hear it at night and day, and if you miss the night, then you're okay with just the day, and you're sort of like
If you
Yosef
could only
anyway.
do one, if you could only do one, it's definitely you're supposed to be doing both. We're gonna have to learn about this more. This is what's on the page of the Shulchan Aruch. Hopefully, we're gonna have to get more clarity on this because this is tricky stuff. All right, so Mir Hashem, tomorrow we will continue with the Mishnah Berurah. Everyone should have a wonderful day.
Shkar.
Yeah, this was very tricky.
Yeah,
No,
for sure.
I mean, this Magen Avraham is it's like back and forth, and what is he?